My hair. We live. Hello, and welcome. Welcome to Icon Hour. So excited to be back here this week with you all. As you see, there's new scenery for me. I have moved locations, which isn't new or anything random, but I am currently based in Tulum, Mexico, and will be here for at least until the front of the year. And so that's the beauty of living a nomadic lifestyle. You can travel, you can work, you can do all the things. And so, yeah, I'm so happy to have you here. So, welcome to Icon Hour. If you're new, I'm Ebony Dawkins. I'm a brand and business mentor for women who are done with the templates and ready to become the template, right? And so today we're going to talk about something that I have been ruminating on, that I have been seeing women dab their toes in. It's something that I used to dab my toe in. And when I truly began to harness this energy and truly take it in, it changed my life. So, a little bit here. I built my first business at 22. I was a single mom of two kids. I was working in corporate America. In the eyes of everyone I knew, I had the dream job. Actually, it was a job that I tried really hard to get. But after having that job, I realized this wasn't it, right? So at 22, I grew, sold, and scaled a business. And since then, I've done that with multiple businesses, grown them into the 6 and 7 figures. And what I know for sure is this strategy that we're going to talk about, it will only take you so far, right? I teach strategy, I teach it to my clients. It's an important part of the equation. But the quantum, that is what changes everything. And we are going to talk about that today. The icon movement was born from that truth because it's about identity, it's about creation, and it's about embodiment. Becoming, becoming the woman who leads her business, who leads her brand, and who leads her life from alignment and power, not pressure. So many times I have women in my DMs and my sales calls that I meet out in the real world. They're leading from pressure, from that scarcity mindset, from if I don't show up, it doesn't happen. And today, I want to take you deeper into how I've used the quantum to collapse time again and again and again. Before I even knew what the quantum was, I went from being a 22-year-old with a dream to a 7-figure CEO living globally. This is about energetic mastery, meeting real world action. And I want to explain it to you because for so long, I've heard people talk about quantum leaping, collapsing time, and all of these are good in theory, right? But if you don't know how that actually applies in this physical form, what you need to do, how you go from thought and theory to reality, it stays as thought and theory. So when I say quantum, I'm talking about the energetic field where all versions of you already exist. The millionaire you, the peaceful you, the woman with a thriving brand, the woman with her dream home, the woman with the freedom lifestyle. She's not a fantasy, not at all. What she is, she's a frequency. The quantum doesn't respond to what you want. And that is where people get it mixed, right? You can want to be a millionaire. You can want that dream home. You can want freedom. You can want to leave a legacy. You can want generational wealth. But the quantum doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you embody. Just let that sit for a minute with you. It responds to what you embody. And I didn't always understand that. I really didn't. But when I look back, I realized I was living this way all along. How many of you have experienced something that felt almost too aligned to be coincidence? Put a yes in the chat. And if you're watching it live or you watch it on replay, feel free to interact. But how many of you have experienced that? Where something happens, it's so aligned. You're like, this coincidence? What the hell is that? This can't be it. That's the moment. That's the moment when everything clicked for me. That's the quantum field responding to your frequency, to your energy, to your state of being. When I was 22 years old and I had my two babies, two girls, I didn't have a roadmap. All I had was a notebook. And every single night, I wrote down ideas, I wrote down goals, I wrote down visions. I didn't call it manifestation because I didn't know what that was. I called it survival. I was robbing Peter to pay Paul. If you're in the US, you understand this statement because a lot of Americans are living this. I had a $1,500 child care bill, a $700 rent payment, and I was making $24,000 a year. You do the math. You do the math. There wasn't enough money to stretch. Not at all. So I was robbing Peter to pay Paul to keep things afloat. But what I was really doing when I was writing and dreaming and visioning, I was scripting a new reality. I'd write things like, my daycare will be warm, full of color, filled with joy and happiness, and I will be abundant, a prosperity. And for a year, 12 full months, I became that woman in my mind before I ever opened my doors. I was her. I had her schedule. I had her work ethic. I had her workouts. I had her mindset. I had everything that version of me had. And then one day it was real. In 30 days, I went from making $30,000, $24,000 a year, a little more with bonuses, to $100,000. That was my first quantum leap. Not because I hustled harder, but because I aligned my belief, my emotions, and my vision. Even before I had it, even before I was her. This is how in that 30-day window, I was able to attract every single person, opportunity that I needed. There were no bumps in the road. So if you're watching this, I want you to think back to your own moment like this, when your energy created something beyond logic, beyond what people would call sense, common sense. Think back to that. Because that's the quantum. Now I want to fast forward you to my mid-30s, 33, 34. I was in real estate. I had done well, but I knew deep down I was built for more. I knew it because I would meet individuals who were so passionate about the work that they were attracting endless possibilities. I decided I'm not just going to be good at this. I'm going to be the freaking best. I'm going to make it into the top 1%. I did not know how. And I decided this before I ever opened my door to someone, opened the MLS, got someone to sign on a dotted line to agree to work with me. I had already decided I'm going to the top. I didn't know how, but I started moving like her. I showed up online like her. I went to the office every day like her. I studied like her. I walked into rooms like I belonged there. Within a year of me doing that, I was there, one of the top agents in my market. I spent 2 years fumbling around, not really understanding at that time the quantum either. But when I started showing up like her, when I started showing up like her, I became top within 12 months. That was another quantum leap. You see, the quantum doesn't require proof, it requires certainty. And in both instances that I've explained, I had no proof. The first entrepreneur in my family, no one existed as an entrepreneur in my life before me. No one had wrote the map. No one had taught me the way. No one explained tax code and LLC, S corp, business license. No one. But I was certain I was going to make it, baby. And the version of you who already has what you want, she exists. She exists. Otherwise, you wouldn't desire it. There would be no desire in your heart for it. Your job is to collapse the distance between who you are now and who she already is. That's the quantum. Then came the house. I dreamed for so long of having a big, beautiful house with a swimming pool since I was a kid. I used to visualize it. My wife and I have this in common. We both used to get the newspaper as kids and look at houses and dream about living in those houses. I went so far as to even driving the neighborhoods. On my night leaving work, I would drive the neighborhoods. Or when my second daughter was born and she would not sleep without being driven around, I used to go to the wealthy neighborhoods and drive around and claim it. That's mine. That'll be mine. I'll have this house. I used to visualize floating in that water, feeling calm, feeling successful, feeling safe. Years later, I realized I had been manifesting that moment since my childhood. That pool wasn't just water, it was a representation of peace. And when I got that home and got to raise my kids there, I knew something was there. That's what I want you to hear today. The quantum doesn't forget your dreams, they're not lost. They're waiting for you to meet their frequency. The sooner I realized this, the faster I was able to collapse time. It didn't take me years. It didn't take me months. It took me days, hours, weeks. I want to fast forward again to last November, last year. I came to Tulum for a retreat. to reset going into 2025. I stayed after that retreat because I was like, I don't want to just go home. I want to experience what it would be like to be here in Tulum. And I sat at the rooftop pool here in this building. The sun was setting, and I journaled these exact words. I want to live this way. I want freedom. I want to build globally from anywhere in the world. It's what I wrote. I still have the journal. At that time, last November, I had no idea how. I had no visa. I had no plan. And quite honestly, I was still required because of the work that I do to be in person. I just had a desire, and that desire felt so electric in my body. I visualized it, I wrote it down. I felt the gratitude for it before it existed. I was thanking the universe on a daily basis for making this happen. That was November. In June, I became a digital nomad. Less than a year. In less than a year, I was living it. And I actually was living it before June. By March, I had created that reality. Just obviously, logistics, had to sell my home. I had a child who was completing high school. We wanted to give him that experience of finishing his school career, high school, in his home. But I was living it. Now I'm here and I'm living global, a global entrepreneur. I just got here. I've been here about a week. I spent all summer in Europe. I'm hosting retreats. I'm building brands from beaches, from pool tops, all across different countries. And this is just the beginning. That's what a quantum leap looks like. It's when faith meets action and reality shifts to meet you. I want you to think about this. What are you holding in your heart right now that could be your next quantum leap if you fully trusted it? I want you to drop it in the chat. Whether you're watching here live today or you're watching on repeat, I want you to write down, what are you holding in your heart right now that could be your next quantum leap if you fully trusted it? So let's talk. How do we tap into it intentionally? Because as I explained, there was a time in my life where I didn't know how to harness this energy and tap into it. But I'm going to give you the steps of how you intentionally quantum leap. Number one, you get crystal fucking clear. Write it down. Speak it out. Feel it. I am not a believer of if you talk it out, you say it out loud, you'll jinx yourself. People will throw a hex on you. People will crush your dreams before. No. The universe is bigger than any man, any woman. What is meant for you, no one can stop it. They can't derail it and they can't slow it down. So write it, speak it, tell it to everyone. And I want you to feel it. You describe it in detail until your body believes it's already happening. And what this looks like is you feel it. You hear the sounds, you see the sights. The second part of this, you match the energy. How? You might be asking. By making small aligned moves every single day. It's not enough to just want it. You have to walk like her. You have to talk like her. You have to decide like her. Does she read books? Is she listening to podcasts? Is she practicing regulating her nervous system? Is she rewiring the subconscious on a daily? Is she waking up early? Or is she having slow mornings? Because that's what I decided for me to match the energy of my multi-million dollar self. I'm not waking up and rushing. I'm taking it slow. The third part is to release the how. This is the part that so many of us find difficult, especially if you're a high achieving woman, because typically you got there by having a plan, putting things in action, and making sure shit happens how it's supposed to, being in control. But you don't control this. You release the how. The quantum is fast when you stop trying to control the process, because they know what to do. The universe, God, your spirit guides, whatever deity you believe in, they know. It's not your job to know when it's happening. It's just your job to know it's done. Anytime I ask for something, I say, show me how good it can get. It's done. Because I know it's coming. So I don't need to worry. I don't need to worry. I just need to show up as her. When I started doing this intentionally, my results started showing up faster. The house, the clients, the freedom, the global life. So today, I want you to take this with you. You've already quantum leaped before, even if you didn't call it that. Every time you trusted yourself when logic said no, that was a leap. Every time you stepped into a new level of identity, that was a leap. The next one, it's already waiting on you, baby. I want you to take 5 minutes after this today, and I want you to journal. And I want your journal entry to start with this. I can't believe it happened this fast. And write out what happened. Because when you decide, when you align, and you believe, time collapses. Time collapses. I want you to remember, luxury is a decision. Make it daily. This is Icon Era energy, and your next quantum is already done. Thanks so much for joining us today. Subscribe to my channel. I go live here every week. And I always drop a link to connect with me further should you want to explore truly optimizing and quantum leaping your business and life into the next realm. Bye, beauties.